Are we on video?
Yeah.
Why are you holding your breath? Why?
Felt right.
Hey, everybody. This is the Huge Movie Podcast, the only movie podcast that knows that Jim Carrey is just David Cross in a wig. My name's Chris Carfaro. Alongside me, Connor Garrigan.
How you doing?
I forgot his name, John Gallagher.
It's good. Johnny.
And the Jack Attack, Jack Mayberry behind the camera. What's up, boys? How we doing?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I don't know. I'm really confused this week. I don't know if my girlfriend even loves me anymore, or if it's just the memory of me, you know?
Did you get the movie?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think you understood
Oh,
it.
man, this is going to be a rough one, fellas. 2 bombs in a row early. Are we even at a minute yet? Anyway.
I liked it. I thought it was funny.
Oh, you just did one of those laughs where you just smile?
No, I was laughing.
Oh, okay. Well, make it louder next time. I'm going to...
We could edit that in post.
Yeah. Cut to a funnier clip of me.
And if you guys didn't laugh at that, like, you fucked in high school, good for you. We were over here fucking making ebony armor and shit like that, you know?
I think that this matchup today was probably my most contested internally that we've had so far.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's a good thing because it was both for the same reason and that these are 2 movies that I found almost impossible to rewatch.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Yeah, very strange. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about it, but first, I think we got a synopsis surprise.
So, Chris, you're wrong. I actually didn't have a synopsis surprise, but quick thinking, I've got an idea.
Okay. Well, while John thinks of that, just remember,
Okay, done.
guys.
All right. Okay. Let's see what I can say. I don't know what to say.
That's all right. We'll cut all of this out.
Keep this in. This is the process. We need to show people the process. Okay, cut that out.
You cut it out.
You guys are like, you guys come in here, you spend 30 minutes talking about all these ways that you want to fucking optimize our podcast to get people to listen, and then you fucking do that into the mic. All right, baby.
Oh, John.
Now, this film has an approval rating of 68 based on 316 reviews with an average of 6 out of 10. This film may not take its wonderfully bizarre premise as far as it could have, but this offbeat adaptation should catch most, if not all, of the franchise's fans.
What was it adapted from?
Well, I can't really tell you that,
I thought I was
Chris.
going to catch you slipping.
Almost. So it was revealed that Legendary will release a graphic novel based on the film.
Wait, they did a book after the film?
I guess so. The book is still
6.8.
better than the film.
Okay.
Because I'm a pretentious asshole.
Noted.
Diplo appears in the film as the DJ who performs at an arena.
Is Zac Efron in it?
Get him to the Greek.
He is not. He's not. That's a good question. Always the first question I'll ask. Suki Waterhouse is in it.
Ooh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And who else is in it? Well, I could tell you some of the other people that are in it, but that's going to give it away.
So don't do that yet.
Is Will Smith in it?
Suki Waterhouse.
No Will Smith, not
Okay.
this time.
So Connor won't get this one.
Okay. So they wanted to. Okay, the people that made this, they wanted to adapt the film because of their interest in making a film that focused on another character besides the protagonist of the normal TV series.
Oh, is it Grendel?
Ooh, TV series.
TV series. There's a little hint for you.
Oh.
No one remembered Grendel from high school. I love that book.
They spent a year. I love that too. That was
I read it in like 6 hours on a car ride.
Really?
Loved it. Yeah.
smart. They spent a year designing all the characters ahead of shooting so they could get it all right.
Movie based on a TV show.
I'm looking for little like bits here. Yeah, it's based on a TV show and other things.
Frasier.
MacGruber.
See, you guys got me excited with the.
I
It sounded like you
I
had
think
an
I
idea,
know.
but
I think I have an idea of it. Is Ronda Rousey in it?
no.
Oh, I thought it was. What's that one with like the actor or something? No, where he like plays an actor in the show. He has his boys with him.
Entourage?
Yeah, I thought it was the Entourage movie.
Because the movie is
Not a-
more about Turtle than anybody else, right?
Not a terrible guess.
It's about Turtle.
I haven't seen it in forever.
You were not turtly enough for the Turtle Club.
But that's like his whole story with Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he date Ronda Rousey in that movie?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, Hollywood's really gone off the deep end.
Are you guys ready for me to give it away?
Yeah, give it away now.
It made a worldwide gross of $433 million. At the time of its release, it was the second highest grossing video game film adaptation.
Oh, Scott
Ooh,
Pilgrim
Max
versus
Payne.
the World.
And Suki Waterhouse played Ditto.
Pokemon movie, Detective Pokemon.
Detective Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu.
You didn't
Wow.
even tell us
Chris
that was like
loses
an
again on a
animation.
technicality.
Oh,
That was
Connors
I
was
enjoyed
so
it.
hard last week though. Like that was.
Yeah, what movie was it?
I
Oh,
don't
Bright.
even remember.
Bright, yeah.
Dude.
The Netflix.
we were just like, is
Will
this
Smith
going to
movie.
even make sense anymore? Like, we were waiting so long. Damn, dude. I always fucking forget the name of the movies.
Pokemon.
That's one of those things where you get
It's like
see a
that's
Star
such an
Wars.
old guy.
yeah. Pokemon. It's one of those things where I got so excited that I knew the answer that my brain was like, hold on there, cowboy.
Yeah.
It sucks. Thanks, John.
You're welcome.
Where we go from here? Oh, yeah, to the crux of the actual episode.
Oh no, I bring up last week. I went and saw Across the Spider-Verse.
Really? How was it?
Phenomenal.
Yeah?
Phenomenal. Yeah. If
Did you
if
see
you're
it in
into it.
theaters?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you like the first one, you're definitely gonna like this one.
Very interesting. I don't know if this is going to spoil anything, but who's like the main villain?
The Spot is the the villain.
That's the entity, right?
What do you mean?
Isn't it like the entity that goes through like the whole multiverse?
Yeah, kind of. But it's a guy. It's like a
Oh.
classic supervillain story, like origin story for him. But like the real like antagonist of the whole story is like the other Spider-Man, not Miles Morales. They're
Oh.
trying to stop him from doing something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'll have to watch it.
Other odds and ends. Connor and I are doing a spin-off eventually about Wes Anderson. Asteroid City.
A whole podcast?
Whole podcast.
Asteroid
Wow.
City is playing at the Angelica tonight.
Ooh.
We got to get out there, boys.
You want to go?
Yeah.
Maybe not tonight, but we got to see that.
I was
So-
like,
Yeah.
I got nothing better to do.
Have you
so
ever been
we
to
can
Angelica?
actually watch that
No,
before
what
we
is
do the
It's a
episode.
cool theater. It's
What
like
is
it's like a cafe and theater. They show a lot of like indie movies and limited releases.
Where is this?
New York.
Oh,
Vlog?
I
Gang
would
goes
be
to New
down
York?
for that.
We could do
sometime.
that.
one other social media tie-in.
Wait, what's the name of your podcast?
We're just gonna do it on this.
But like 40 episodes.
Okay. I don't care.
If you guys are not following our Twitter, we had big news the other night when the intern who runs the Twitter tweeted that if the tweet got a retweet, Chris would get a tattoo of Jared Leto's abscess from Requiem, which we discussed last week. Retweet milestone was achieved almost immediately, and so Chris is going to be now putting that
Grotesque.
dead flesh on his body forever.
Yeah.
First tattoo,
it,
man.
It did happen
Excited?
remarkably fast. So fast, in fact, that I think that there was a little bit of collusion going on. I think this was an inside job.
Prove it.
Huh?
Prove it.
Well, let me tell you. I will.
You have the burden of proof in this.
If we get 15,000 subscribers on YouTube, I'll get The Rock tattooed on my chest.
All right.
Hold me to that.
15,000?
15,000.
How about
1,000?
1,500?
15. That's so little.
We only have 10
15,000
right now.
is even not that many.
No, we
Yeah,
don't.
but
We
they're
have a
10
lot.
diehard. I'd rather have 10 fans over a million fake.
I'd rather have a million fake fans. Yeah, so new goal. If I can get, let's see, we got 1, 2, 3 people in the room right now, including Preston, that makes 4. If I get 5 retweets, I'll get the abscess tattooed on my body.
Done.
All right.
Deal.
Where? Because I'm talking a big rock across my chest.
I'm not you, Jack. I was thinking of...
No, like the abscess on his.
Yeah, I have to get it anatomically correct. Oh, God, job interviews are going to be fun to go on. All right. You want to get into it, boys?
Let's get
Yeah.
to it.
All right. Matchup for today. Oh, I almost said the usual suspects. Matchup for today. We have
They are the usual
Eternal
suspects in a way.
Sunshine in a Spotless Mind.
Jesus,
Of the
dude.
Spotless Mind.
You're not qualified to talk about it if you can't say the name right. I'm just gonna say that.
I'm going to say one thing. I'm getting pretty sick of these directors having an entire paragraph for movie titles. It's too much.
The Spotless Minds.
You're being a boomer tonight, and you can't vote.
It's called CTE, John, and it's a serious problem. So anyway, Eternal. Why don't you say the matchup today, John?
We are viewing Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and Leon, the Professional.
Which I already have
I
a
believe it's
gripe.
professionals.
No, it's just professional. Oh, I get it. I fell right into that one. I already have a gripe with the movie. Leon, the Professional, I'm talking about.
You don't like colons in the title?
No, but it is a problem with the title. The movie is very clearly called on every, source that you're able to watch it in. Leon, the Professional, or is that a semicolon? It's a semicolon.
No, it's not.
The 2 dots are the semicolon.
Jesus, dude.
No, it's a colon.
Google it. I believe it when I see it. But anyway, so that's the
Really?
name of the movie. But
You want to
on
look up colon?
on the title screen, it just says The Professional on it. It doesn't even have the Leon part.
Yeah. I think I'll allow it.
See what I mean? I edit this thing.
Oh, I'm not recording the screen.
Well, good, because I wasn't going to put it in.
You're going to try to gaslight all of our viewers.
Yeah, you don't know English. I know English.
You should just put the colon on the screen.
But yeah, I thought that was really strange, and I don't know if that was like an editing mistake or if they just kind of, I don't know, changed it up.
Wait, what was it? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Huge Movie Podcast, the only movie podcast that's not afraid to cut mid-scene.
I thought you were going to say cut co-hosts.
Oh, I mean, we're not afraid to do that either.
Shit.
So what I was saying is that the title of the movie, basically everywhere that you see it, is Leon, the Professional. But on
Cool.
I meant to correct it and I fucked it up in my correction. But when you get to the title screen in the
Yeah.
actual movie, it just says The Professional.
Yeah, why are you so upset by it, dude? You
'Cause that's-
you wouldn't remember the title anyway.
I remember the
is-
guy's name.
Leon.
Just for me, it's a weird thing.
This is like a French New Wave-esque. I mean, he kind of blazed his own path with the genre, but French New Wave, it didn't follow structure. So that's a huge influence in
The
this
Beatles'
movie.
White Album doesn't say the White Album on it.
I'm just trying to take a guess at why they did that, because it is weird how it's called. The title is Leon the Professional.
Right.
Or Leon the Professional, but in the movie, you're right, it just says the Professional.
Yeah, I just thought that was really strange.
And I'm saying it might be because of the New Wave influence, like abandoning any type of structure, like, or what you'd normally see.
Okay.
I think I've seen things like that anyway, though.
I feel like the only movie of recently that I've seen something similar to it is Birdman. Because they do have that alternate title, but
Yeah.
I think it just says Birdman in the
Just
movie.
says Birdman. It doesn't say the alternate
I
title.
feel like that's because it's an alternate title.
Oh, it might. I don't know. I haven't seen it in a while. It might say the. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. Was
Why-
it like the burden of truth or something like
Dude,
that?
it's some sort of long diatribe.
Super pretentious.
Yeah, exactly. My favorite one, though, is Doctor Strangelove. And
Oh,
then
and how I learned to love the atomic bomb.
how I stopped caring and loved the bomb or something like that. But yeah, we'll talk about that when it comes up on the list.
Yeah.
Did we even say the other movie? Yeah, Eternal Sunshine. These movies are getting too complex for me to even talk about.
You
the
said
titles.
you said you were conflicted in this one.
Oh, right.
So I had a lot of fun this week watching these movies. I love Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Leon is an easy movie to watch, unless you read about the director. Then it gets a little bit tough. But I didn't read about it until halfway through the movie, and then I read about it, and I was like, "Ooh, this changes everything."
What happened with the director?
We can get into that later when we
Okay.
talk about it. But I'm not conflicted at all. I know definitely which one I like more.
Oh my god!
And
I'm
you
just reading
enjoyed
about
both
him now.
of them, though?
Yeah, but Leon is more of like it's fun, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Eternal Sunshine is just a movie that I love, and I'll fucking always will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually had this episode planned for last week, but John wasn't able to make it last week.
Yeah.
And you were so excited about the matchup that you didn't want us to actually do it without you.
Yes.
So I would love to hear your thoughts on the matchup.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, no, I love Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. It's one of my favorite movies, and it is one of the top movies that we've watched so far. I mean,
Really?
on this list, it's definitely. I mean, it's. I think out of the ones that we've watched, it's got to be in my top 3 probably right now. I think it's fucking phenomenal. I don't think there's really a movie like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Just the genre or non-genre that it exists in is awesome, and it's just a super fucking sick movie, and I've watched it a bunch of times, and I really enjoy it every time I watch it. And then Leon, like Connor said, I had a lot of fun this week. I had fun watching Leon. Like, it was a movie that I really enjoyed watching. Just because, like, it's also the kind of movie I probably wouldn't typically watch.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, it's like a cult movie, which is like something I would probably watch, but it's like an action movie, which is certainly not something that I'm like chomping at the bit to see. But it was fun, and that was cool. But yeah, it's like, I don't know if that's a top 100 movie. It was a little ridiculous and cringe a bit at times.
Yeah.
And I'm a little surprised that it seems to have this big cult following.
Me too.
Like,
Yeah.
where does that come from? I don't really know. But anyway, fun watch.
Yeah, I was kind of having a similar thing with it.
But you'd seen it before, right?
Yeah, I've seen both these movies before. I would probably say I saw them like right around the same time, like as each other. And yeah, my issue and what I said previously about how it was like kind of hard to watch them both. It was a lot of the excitement for me for Eternal Sunshine was the fact that you had no idea where this story was going to end up. And once I kind of gathered early on what was happening in the movie on the second viewing, like kind of what the whole plot was going to be about, I'd forgotten how it ends, but once I like understood the mechanics of it again, it was still a great movie. I still enjoyed watching it, but there was less of a wow factor.
Yeah.
And we talked kind of before the podcast about Charlie Kaufman. He's got a lot of different movies like this, and I don't think he directed this one, did he? He just wrote.
You wrote it, yeah.
He's got a lot of movies like that. Schenectady, New York, Being John Malkovich.
I want to see both of those. I haven't seen
Yeah.
them.
They're very good.
It's the only movie of his that I've seen. That's just irresponsible on my part.
Yeah, especially because you like it so
know.
much. Both of those movies, though, fantastic. They're just like this, a mind bender that you can't really compare it to anything else. But on second viewings, because I wasn't as wowed as the first time I saw it, it was kind of like even less of like an excitement to watch it.
Yeah.
Still enjoyed the movie, but there was like less enthusiasm because I knew the bells and whistles going into it.
Yeah, I think I actually like. So I hear what you're saying. I think it's an interesting contrast, or for you, it's more of a comparison to The Usual Suspects. Same kind of deal that we talked about. Like it loses some of that excitement when you kind of know what that ending's going to be.
For sure.
I don't see it the same way. I see this movie like I know what the end's going to be, but I just really enjoy the whole journey of this movie, and I could watch it many times. It's nice to watch it at different points in your life when you've had different experiences of, you know, relationships and things.
Maybe that was it, because I'm in a healthy relationship now, and when I watched it the first time, I was really
You got to be like me.
Yeah, throw it in our face.
It made me more appreciative.
I
of
love how you describe
previous
that,
relationships though
Just
this
saying.
time.
That's a great
Yeah.
description.
Like you really appreciate what you go through and what seems terrible at the time. You realize how much you learn from each relationship and or quasi relationship that you're in, and yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, because I honestly feel like, yeah, this is a spoiler, kinda. So if you want, skip ahead a couple of minutes, seconds, because there's more.
Should I say
stuff
something
to
about
come.
the movies? Like describe them a little bit.
Sure.
Jim Carrey dies.
Okay. Leon the Professional is a 1994 action thriller. Yeah. Directed by Luc Besson, starring Jean Reno, Natalie Portman, and Gary Oldman. It's about a hitman who comes into contact with a young girl whose family, who winds up on her own. And he winds up having to take care of her, and they develop this relationship, and it follows the development of their relationship and his profession, and how the two worlds come to intertwine towards the end. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, 2004, 10 years later, romantic science fiction drama, directed by Michael Gondry, written by Charlie Kaufman, starring Jim Carrey, Kate Winslet, and a lot of other people, including Mark Ruffalo, Kirsten
David
Dunst,
Cross.
David Cross,
Elijah Wood.
Which can
Elijah
you pull up-
Wood.
can you pull up the two guys' faces, please?
Yeah,
Dude, I'm telling you, when you see it, you won't be able to unsee it.
yeah. The movie starts at the end of what seems like a very tumultuous breakup. Or
Elijah
a very,
Wood, you didn't even mention.
Yeah, we
did.
just did. Yeah.
Oh, you did.
Towards
Sorry.
the end, yeah. And he learns that the girl he just broke up with has erased him from her memory, and he goes to the company to do the same.
Yeah, it's like a medical procedure they go through to erase bad
Is there
memories.
lactose in yogurt? Yeah.
I
So
forget what I was
David
saying
Cross.
beforehand. David Cross and Jim Carrey.
That's I just looked it up. Nobody on the internet agrees with you, and I also don't.
Dude, I'm
It's because
telling
they
you,
both had beards at one time. Are you
it's,
just comparing
it's
them
their,
with
dude,
beards?
it's the nose and the eyes. It is
No,
the
it's
nose and the eyes.
No.
Jim Carrey's got
No.
better teeth, but he also has better hair.
I'll do one at a time.
Yeah.
What are your guys' overall perspectives on David Cross? Because I actually I feel bad saying this, but I think he's very funny actually. Like
No.
he plays Tobias Funke on one of the best written shows of all time, but like that doesn't
Debatable.
I think he's pretty funny.
But that does not tell you that someone actually is funny if they're just good at playing a role.
Yeah.
And I don't really enjoy a lot of what David Cross has done otherwise.
Yeah, my biggest thing too.
I don't see it at all.
No, not at all.
Dude, you gotta look at the noses. I'm telling you.
They have completely different noses. He's got like a little button nose.
So what were you saying about David Cross not being funny? No, I agree. It's like he's kind of that one trick pony in the fact that he's like a lovable loser in a lot of his acting. But I'm also obviously a huge comedy
villain
fan.
in Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Oh yeah, I mean, wait, isn't he the guy?
No, that's Jason Lee.
Oh, okay.
Jennifer Jason Leigh?
Yep.
But I'm a big comedy fan. He's like a stand-up comedian. I don't find him funny at all.
Yeah, I've seen some of his stand-up.
Yeah, it's not good. And he's also one of the guys that like likes to, I don't know. I just don't think he's genuine a lot of the time, if that makes sense. And that really bothers me. He's
I
funny.
hear you.
He's funny looking.
Funny looking. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I've complained about this before, but I do think the best example of that is fucking Rainn Wilson. That dude is negative funny.
Dude,
His tweets are the least funny shit I've ever seen. It's like, oh my god.
Dwight?
Yeah, but also,
Plays a great character. Dwight is like.
but I don't think
made
Dwight.
for him.
I actually don't think Dwight's a great character. Also, though,
I
he's
think
like,
David Cross
Whoa.
read for Dwight actually.
Yeah, I saw that video.
I can see that.
No, dude, that guy's an insane person. He changed his name to like,
Meta World Peace.
he did something. It was like Rain Extreme Climate Change.
Oh
something.
yeah,
Yeah.
Wilson.
Yeah.
it's the funniest thing he's done.
Oh my god! Wait till you see
I
how
still
spelled
think he
rain.
killed it with Dwight, but he could never do anything
Oh,
else for the
Jesus.
most part.
Yeah,
Even though-
I mean, he definitely played that role really well. It's not my favorite role in The Office, like by a long shot.
Did you ever see The Rocker?
Yeah, I did. I kind of like it.
I like that too. So
Yeah.
he didn't
Here.
do too bad.
That was his chance to, like-
Rainfall, heat wave, extreme winter Wilson.
Yeah,
As a protest to climate change. I think you just confused people, bud.
I'm not your buddy, guy.
Yeah.
yeah, man. I don't know.
I wasn't
Just
expecting
not a
for
funny
The
guy.
Rocker to like pop up as one of his like top films.
Yeah, he hasn't done much.
That
man.
was like that was his like chance after The Office
That was his school of rock.
to be like to be like a leading man in comedy movies, and it did so bad, and he just didn't get a chance after that.
I actually,
It was a tough movie to like really make your debut, though. To be honest,
Yeah. I actually just watched the Weird Al Yankovic movie, and he plays like one of the supporting characters in it, and he actually does a really good job.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
he's very
good.
funny in that. Which
Good to
I
hear.
want to talk about that briefly, and I can cut it out if we don't want to add it. But I think that the Weird Al Yankovic movie is one of the best biopics of an artist because it plays so into like the artist's core values. Because it's have you either one of you guys seen it yet?
I know about it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, but it's basically just a parody on his life
Yeah,
because he's one of the greatest parody artists of all time.
Yeah, it's
Like,
cool.
That level of meta is just.
I also
perfect
like
for
how
me.
it takes the piss out of these biopics.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Dewey
they got
Cox was supposed to kill the genre.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
They made fun of everything about those, and people still love them, but they keep getting made. So yeah, so I like it when
The
they
Marvel
like, do
movies
something
also
different.
still keep getting made.
Yeah, but no one has parodied like a real superhero movie except for that awful one from like 2010.
Oh, the superhero movie?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what it's called.
I can
right?
think of one good parody. I
The
sent to you
Boys.
today.
God. Well, The Boys is kind of a
Insert
parody.
a clip here.
all right,
The
let's
Boys
talk
is
movies.
kind of a parody. but
Yeah,
that's,
let's go back to it.
Yeah.
All right, so what movie do you guys want to start with first?
Let's start with Leon.
Okay.
Let's end on a good note.
Okay. Oh, you want to start with a good note too? I'm probably gonna cut this out, but cut. All right. So, what movie do you guys want to start with in the matchup?
Let's start with Leon.
All right.
Let's start with Leon.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
That's the most professional one to start with.
Yeah.
So I had a thought right away when I was watching it. This is also because I had already seen the movie, and then there's also movies out now that weren't out at the time. Most notably, the John Wick franchise. But I just don't really love like the badass main character that's also like lacking in a lot of different ways, you know, socially. Like, he can't read. He's like super compassionate. He's got a plant that he needs to take care of. He drinks milk. And I don't know if this was the first movie to start the entire like character archetype of this kind, but it gets done so much now that it's
Like,
just kind of getting old.
Guy
you know?
who drinks milk.
Well, that's in almost every movie.
Dude,
at
he
this
drinks
point.
like a gallon of milk a day.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would
That's
literally die.
nuts.
Yeah, dude.
He loves
Oh my
milk.
God. Also, can you imagine the mouth taste that he walks around with all day?
Yeah.
Dude, it must be so disgusting.
But yeah, no, it is true. Like the kind of badass guy who also has like the soft
Yeah.
side, right? That's like a pretty cliche.
Right. Like there's
Badass
other
on the soft side.
Yeah.
But it's like it's done because these people are human too. They want to make sure the audience knows that. So the easy ways to do that is to make them emotionally unavailable, insecure in other ways because they're so good at one thing. They don't have time to like be a well-rounded person.
I get that,
No,
but
I'm not good at anything.
I get it, but
So you're well-rounded?
Yeah.
it's really weird because almost always they exclusively like put that character development, they put the emphasis on like an object. You know, like John Wick, you have the dog, obviously. With this movie, there's a few different things with the plant, Natalie Portman herself. And it's one of those things like there can be other ways to develop characters that don't revolve around this, but still humanize them, you know?
Oh yeah, I,
I
think
think-
it takes a lot more effort. I think that's why you see this so
Yeah.
so much.
I think a good example, and you know, now that I'm saying it out loud, is probably just the exact same thing. But the TV show The Punisher, I think that they did a really good job of developing his character.
Yeah, they had really good source material for that, so that helps. But I think the
also have
the
more
TV
time.
show, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's true too.
But the TV show did change enough and a lot to really make it their own, which was really good. So going back to just the stupid thing about him, he wanted to. So when Jean Reno, when he read the script, he saw the
couldn't read.
relationship. Yeah, he saw the relationship between his character and Natalie Portman's character, and he like said he needed to be emotionally stunted and kind of stupid so that it didn't come off as him being romantic towards her, because he knew it was going to come off as creepy, and he
'Cause
gave
that's
these
the
notes
way
to
it was
the
written intentionally, bro.
yeah, that's the shitty part. So
That might also be why.
so
I'm
these are
second
notes he
viewing.
gave to the director, and then as people saw it in test screenings, they removed a lot of things, so it didn't come off that way. Because the director has some baggage, like he had a really young wife, some allegations against him too. I mean, he still works now, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very, very uncomfortable with the sexualization of a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah.
I mean,
Natalie Portman hates this movie, actually.
I would,
yeah.
I could imagine.
Totally.
Dude, and it's like there
Very
are
uncomfortable.
very little things. Again, watching it a second time, like when she was just like laying on the bed, and she was like rubbing her hands on her like belly, and they just like really zoomed in on that. I was uncomfortable. I was watching this movie by myself. I was afraid someone was gonna walk in on me like watching this thing.
And I don't know why they needed to
Mom.
do it.
They didn't. That's the
was
answer.
Without those
Yeah.
things, the impact of the film would have been bad. Really,
yeah.
because
Yeah, it's her innocence that draws you into their relationship, like how he's taking care of her, not
Yeah.
these weird cutscenes of her behaving in, I don't know, in a
Yeah.
sexualized way. Like
Yeah.
that's fucking.
And to like further that, you could still have her be like liking or I guess falling in love with Leon, right? You could still have that, but you don't have to like make it hypersexualized. It's already bad enough. You don't have to go to that next level.
Yeah.
And I feel like the sexualization of her really happened with Gary Oldman's character as well. Like he was trying to, and the scene in the bathroom particularly, he was really trying to intimidate her, which I think a grown-ass man with a gun, that's enough intimidation. You don't have to have her like face to face with him where you're not sure if they're gonna like fight or fuck, you know? Mm-hmm. It's just very, very weird.
Yeah.
I just read that they were going to make a second one.
Where they did fuck?
No. But Natalie Portman was like really against it.
I'm not
Yeah.
surprised.
And there was something with the rights to the movie too. They couldn't get it made. So it actually did get adapted into another movie, or the premise was Colombiana. Do you remember that movie?
I remember Columbia.
Yeah. So it starts with a girl who was raised by a hitman,
Oh shit,
and then she goes out for revenge for the people who killed her family.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I liked that movie too.
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty good, fun action movie. I guess this is kind of similar in the same vein. How did you guys think the acting overall was in Leon the Professional?
I mean, should we just talk about the obvious highlight of this movie and the only reason this should be anywhere near a fucking top 100 list?
Are you talking about Gary Oldman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A Gary Oldman performance can make anything great. And this movie is absolutely not great.
Thank you. I thought you guys were going to say he did good.
Oh, no. Gary Oldman, I thought was great.
Gary Oldman's incredible.
Dude, he's the biggest over actor I think I've seen in the last 20 movies I've watched.
What do you think overacting is?
Him. Like him in every scene of that, dude.
But that's the point.
Dude, I've seen him play better characters where they're still
He played
crazy.
different
Tiptoes.
characters.
Huh?
Tiptoes.
That was overacting. But dude, I mean, again, going back to the scene in the bathroom where he takes that pill and just like cracks his neck all weird. I'm like, is he possessed? Like,
I think it adds to the
point.
weirdness and the like really just he's bad, and then those scenes you're like, oh, this guy's just pure evil. Like he's a pure evil bad guy. There's no redeeming qualities about him, which I loved.
Yeah,
because I love movies like that too. I don't like I like a conflicted bad guy or whatever, a complex character, but you see that so much, and this was just not like that. I think that was why I enjoyed his character so much more.
It just didn't do it for me because, and yeah, I guess you can say that he was just pure evil because it didn't come from anywhere. But for me, I just needed a little bit of a nugget to like why he was like that, you know? Like he takes some sort of pill. I don't know if that's drugs or something.
It's benzo.
Like that. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like why? Like I don't know. There just has to be some other explanation for him because he comes out of the gate hot like that.
They kind of do explain it. I mean, when he talks about killing people and he doesn't enjoy killing someone who doesn't appreciate life. Like he only enjoys killing people who appreciate the life they're given because he's taking something from them. He is a stone cold psychopath. That's why he's like the way he is.
Yeah.
I feel like you're looking you want this movie to be realistic, and I don't think that was the point of his character. I mean
It's almost like it was a movie.
yes, and in this particular case, I think it was I think like the point was like to have an insane character. And that's exactly what he did.
I don't think I want it to be more realistic because, I mean, perfect example. I really enjoyed Eternal Sunshine. Like, I don't need it to be based in reality necessarily. I just like, as far as the character development, I just didn't see where it was coming from, and I just don't think it was like explained in a good way. It could just be me, missing something in the movie that would have explained it. Or just like, honestly, personal bias because as I said before, I wasn't really enjoying like the second viewing of the movie as it was. But I don't know, there was just something that felt like it was really forced, and it could have been from the other bad guys. I mean, those actors,
they were bad,
were brutal.
Yeah,
the white guy with the dreads though is my favorite, which is funny too because Gary Oldman.
He's in the DA's office.
Yeah, dude, he's just walking. He's deep undercover. But I thought it was funny too because Gary Oldman played a white guy, like an evil white guy with dreads in True Romance.
Yeah,
he was a bad guy in that too. I was trying to think of where like other times he was a bad guy.
Yeah,
and I couldn't think of any.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I've just loved other Gary Oldman characters a lot. And I don't know. It felt very different and not in a good way for me.
Dude, I think
it comes down to taste.
I mean,
yeah.
It's a different character, but it's a great character. And I don't know. I don't necessarily always need a backstory that tells me why someone is a certain way. I think
not
it depends on the movie and what you're
motivation.
Viewing. I guess.
Aren't you gonna pick Eternal Sunshine?
Yeah.
So why are you letting this ruin your day?
Because it's fucking Gary Oldman, man. I
Looking
I
at
gotta back
both of
this
the
guy up.
movies,
I think he's one of the
definitely
best
would rather
actors
watch
of, like,
Eternal
this
Sunshine.
generation.
Dude,
than-
I mean, perfect example. I love him in the Dark Knight movies. Like, I think he's fantastic as Commissioner Gordon. But I don't know. It just didn't do it for me in this one.
who would you replace some of the actors or actresses with for this?
I think Leon's pretty good.
Yeah,
I think he's a good
That's what I was
cast.
gonna say. Come down when we were starting to talk about the performances. After reading what I read, like he did a perfect job. Like he did what he needed to do to make this not as weird as it was about to be.
Yeah, and if anyone was that, like, serial killer, or not serial killer, but the assassin with major, like, emotional flaws, I would picture him as that guy.
Yeah,
Kind of like just a wiry dude who's, you can, like, tell just off his face he's a little bit socially awkward. I thought that was pretty good.
I think Sylvester Stallone could have done it just as well.
I think Gary Coleman.
a cleaner?
Yeah.
Gary Coleman and Gary Oldman.
Yeah. Well, when you first said Gary Oldman, I was like, no fucking way. This guy.
What else talking about, Leon?
A young Jamie Lynn Spears instead of Natalie Portman, maybe.
Are they the same age now?
I was say
Seems like
Abigail
there's
Breslin,
something.
young Abigail Breslin.
trying to point
I
out.
guess they're not the same age, but the girl who was in Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh, yeah, that would have been pretty
Yeah,
good.
I think she would have been a good, more innocent character.
A
Who
young
played
Jodie
Matilda?
Foster. Natalie Portman.
That was Natalie
No.
Portman?
Are you talking about Matilda the movie?
Yeah.
Because her character in
Yeah.
this movie is named Matilda.
Oh, no. I'm talking about the Matilda movie.
don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if she's done
I
much
like
after
Matilda, but
I was
don't
like
remember
thinking
her.
maybe it's Natalie Portman too.
No, she would have been at least in her 20s at that time. No.
that. I'm not sure.
Matilda should be.
Yeah,
on this
I would have said a young Jodie Foster to replace Natalie Portman.
It's disgusting.
Hey.
Lolita.
Well, she wasn't Lolita. Her
Oh,
character was
okay.
based on
Yeah.
Lolita.
I do feel like Bruce Willis really could have been the lead role, which like, and then in The Fifth Element is this other guy's is.
Are you talking about
guy's
back
movie,
then
too.
or now?
I don't think he could do it now.
I think you've been perfect.
Could do it
I
even
think he's got
better
dementia
now.
now.
He can't read either.
That's pretty dark.
We like to have fun here, guys.
I did appreciate in the beginning of the movie when they're shooting up the stairwell, the silencer doesn't make it that silent. Like it's still pretty
Yeah.
loud. I'm like, wow, you never see it that realistic
'Cause it's
in
normally
any
like,
movie. Yeah,
Yeah,
That was a really
nice.
that was
Yeah.
a really good opening scene overall.
Yeah.
I like that a
The
lot.
opening scene was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I had a few like funny things as I was watching it. I thought it was hilarious that like right before the big opening scene where spoilers, guys, the police kill the entire family because
Oh,
it
yeah.
happened just after Leon.
I have like a live thought on my notes. I said, what kind of drug holder doesn't have a gun in the house? Oh, there it is. He's just a coward.
But Leon sends her out to go get milk, and she walks out of the grocery store with the bag of milk in her hands. But she's still got blood all over her face from when
Yeah.
from when her
And no
dad
one
hit her.
says a thing.
Yeah, dude. The clerk must have been like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah. And then she walks past the guy waiting outside of her apartment with blood on her face.
Right.
And he's like, well, that little girl's going there. Okay.
And then clearly just looked at the dead body that was in the doorway, and he was just like, "Sup?"
yeah.
That's New York, man. That's just another day.
Yeah, fucking mind your own business.
She's a little too smart, her
I'm
character.
walking here.
Yeah, she definitely is a little too smart. And I don't know if that. I think it plays well for her a little bit, like because I think she had to.
She
have,
definitely needs to be above average intelligence.
Right.
But she was like, she said some pretty wise things that only adults say. I forget. I had one in specific, but I forget it.
I also thought it was funny that at one point during like the little training montage with the guns, Leon, like she's having trouble pulling back the slide on the gun, but then Leon pulls the slide back to cock the gun fully, and then she puts a clip in afterwards. Like that doesn't make any sense for operating a weapon. You'd still have to like dry fire it to get to be able to cock it back for the first round. Like you would have had one dry fire and then as an assassin, I'm assuming you'd be dead at that point, you know. So I thought that was a little funny thing.
I didn't know that.
I grew up with a lot of guns.
Still don't.
Yeah, so those were two funny things that jumped out to me.
I liked her very first introduction being her smoking a cig too.
Yeah, that was weird too.
Pretty sick.
I always find it weird when like
When
She was supposed to not quit cigarettes in the movie. The original script had her just a chain smoker, and her mom was like, absolutely not.
Natalie Portman's
Yeah,
mom.
and they wrote it into the contract. She can only have certain amounts of cigarettes, and she can never be filmed inhaling them.
Yeah,
and
just
she
kinda
had to
put it
quit
her lip.
in the movie.
Oh, really? Yeah, that one's always a weird one. When you like force child actors to do like adult things, because obviously when it comes out on screen, it's hilarious. But then you're just like, no wonder why all these child actors are so fucked up. Like they had to like be forced to grow up real quick.
Yeah.
But I feel like Natalie Portman did a good job. You don't really hear much about her. She's getting a divorce with her husband.
Yes.
Yeah, heard that on the car ride back from Martha's Vineyard when my girlfriend put her podcast on. Yeah, it sucked.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Another recasting. The Leon's boss, you make him Russian, and you cast John Malkovich.
Ooh, that wouldn't be bad. Like Rounders.
Leon left you a lot of money.
Yeah. I also thought that was kind of weird how the boss just held his money. I mean, I know they kind of explain it, but
Yeah, he was like
I
a
don't think
father,
it
a
was
weird
weird.
father figure to him.
Oh, I don't think so.
No?
I think it was shady.
shady.
I don't think it was weird. I think the guy didn't. He was just hoping he would never have to give him his money. And he thought he
That's
could
what I
just
meant
do-
by weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like I thought an unnecessary.
I read it as
addition.
way more protective than like nefarious.
Really.
Yeah.
I mean, when you see the apartment that he lives in, like, give the guy a couple extra bucks, you know?
But it seems like Leon wants
Yeah,
it
all
that
those
way.
bullet holes. And
Yeah.
big missile in the middle of it.
Loud neighbors.
Oh, he's like proud of him that he's learning to read.
It's it was the them killing the whole family at the beginning. I just thought was ridiculous. Like, why did they kill the whole family? That just seems crazy.
Yeah, killing kids on screen is really tough to watch.
Yeah.
That was one thing. Immediately, I was like, "Oh, this is tough," because you see him get shot. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough.
I thought it was pretty cool that in the same scene when they go into the bathroom and shoot the mom while she's in the tub. I thought it was pretty cool that like they made all of the bubbles in the tub like react the same way. They must have used like an air rifle or something. Like I don't think they were special effects. Like probably an air rifle that moved all of the like suds.
Yeah, like an air blaster, like Anton Chigurh.
Yeah. But I thought that was like a really nice touch. Because like it could have been very easily done where they just have like a blood pack on her, and then you know insert the sound in post, and it would just be blood spurting out of her. But like the dynamic movement of that bubbles made it a lot more realistic, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, as like as problematic as this director is, he does make a lot of good decisions in terms of making the movie. Like, it was a really interesting style. Like, I was reading that it kind of started this new wave in French movies and other European movies about how it was made and the narrative structures and how I don't know.
Wait, this was a French movie?
He's a French filmmaker.
That's why it was so sexual.
No.
Gaspar, no.
Yeah.
This podcast is not sponsored by Lush Bath Bombs. Once dissolved in water, bath bombs release citric acid, which fizzes up and helps loosen damaged layers of skin.
Thank you, Lush.
No, thank you, Lush. You're welcome.
What other like takeaways did you guys have with the movie as a whole? I thought the plot like was a good plot. If you're gonna compare it to another movie like it that we've already seen on this list, the only thing that I could really think of is The Usual Suspects, and I feel like that blew The Usual Suspects out of the water in that regard. Because as we were talking, like minus that twist, there's really not that much going on for The Usual Suspects, and I felt like this, although it was a movie in the same vein, had a lot more like it had less action when you think about it, but it had a lot more like relevance when the action was present on the screen for something that we would consider an action movie.
Yeah, I really like the ending. I think it ended the only way it could. Yeah, it's probably the most positive takeaway other than Gary Oldman I have from this movie. Also, I don't have a quote from this one, but I do have interesting trivia.
Oh, I have a quote.
In the final scene when Matilda plants the plant outside to let the roots grow, it's like a very symbolic thing. That type of plant is a tropical plant and is going to die in about 2 months when it turns winter.
I have a quote, and it's from like the first scene in the movie, when Leon's going to kill the fat man. When he's on the phone, or when he's holding the guy up at the front door, and he tells the guy on the phone with the fat man, and I'm not saying that he's just a fat man. That's the name of the character in the movie. He says, "Tell him it's someone serious." And the guy tells him on the phone, and then he shoots the guy. And then the guy turns around. One of his henchmen goes, what was that? And he goes, "Someone's coming up. Someone serious." I was just like, come on, dude. Try a little bit harder. Yeah, I think overall, besides Gary Oldman, even though I kind of disagree, I thought the acting was terrible by all of the bad guys. I think they were like not one of them had a redeeming quality about them, minus the white guy with dreads. I mean, obviously he's chill.
Yeah, even her dad.
Yeah,
Zero
exactly.
redeeming qualities.
Exactly, and I just don't think like they did a great job, like acting at all. It seemed like it was their first day ever acting. And then yeah, the only other note I had is Hollywood really is just a bunch of pedophiles. Because this was, again, just hard to watch.
It's French Hollywood, though.
Yeah, Hollywood.
I mean, yeah, my takeaway was purely the only thing about this movie that I found above average was Gary Oldman. I don't think anything else was really above average. I also think the ending with like, I mean, look, ACAB, I know, but like, the fact that like 1,000 New York City cops were like trying to kill this guy, it's like, I mean, I don't know, kind of absurd, like outrageous. And it's clearly,
I think it was meant to be that way, but
yeah,
I don't know. That lost me there too.
But yeah, it's purely Oldman for me on this one, and I hate you forever, Chris.
Why?
For disagreeing,
dude. I mean, people disagree, John.
Yeah, but this one I can't. I can't.
We'll be right back after I take John to the back of the house and teach him a lesson.
I haven't got time for this Mickey Mouse bullshit.
This podcast is not sponsored by GameStop. Power to the players.
Okay, don't go away. We'll be right back.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Welcome back to the Huge Movie Podcast, the only movie podcast where one of the co-hosts has a tattoo of Jared Leto's abscess from Requiem for a Dream.
We're hardcore.
Yeah. I think we should all get matching tattoos. They could all be the abscess if you guys want. So I don't have to go with it alone. All right, we want to move on to Sunshine? And I'll only be referring to it as Sunshine now because I cannot be trusted to say words.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Yeah.
You can't be trusted to have opinions on Gary Oldman either.
I literally hate when mom and dad fight.
We're staying together for the kids.
Yeah.
So I think that, especially for when I watched it the first time, Sunshine. I'm already going against what I said. but it was at a period where I was obsessed with like really confusing, wacky, cerebral movies. And this is like the exact epitome of one of those films. It has so much going on, but it's not hard to follow. It's obviously very, very original. I think Charlie Kaufman does an amazing job with all of his movies like this. And I think the acting in every piece of the movie was just right. No overacting like Gary Oldman. I thought everyone did a really good job. Jim Carrey, who can get very overacty, I thought played it perfectly. And his character was kind of something that hadn't really been done by him before, up until this point. And maybe The Truman Show. Did that come before this?
Definitely
did.
before
Yeah,
this,
definitely
but
He still had
that
his
wasn't
Jim-
quite like this.
He had his Jim Carrey moments in that.
Yeah. It
This-
wasn't as Jim Carrey as he had been in the past. It wasn't
Right.
Ace Ventura, but it was like a little bit lighter than this one.
Right. But he did have some Jim Carrey moments, especially when they were going to the memory of him in his mom's kitchen and he was playing the baby. That
like that
called
scene.
for the overacting.
I don't like that scene.
That scene makes me uncomfortable.
Really?
It does, I just think it's stupid.
Yeah, it is a little wonky. But at the same time, with a movie like this, I think it fit in.
I guess.
No?
I would have preferred 10 minutes of something else,
That was
for that.
10 minutes long?
at least.
Oh, geez. Yeah. They probably went over. They didn't need to put him in the bath or in the sink to have the bath.
Yeah.
I think they could have went without that. When I was watching that scene, though, I thought it would have been so cool to be on set that day filming because they obviously used like a lot of
They used a really small Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
They were able to get one.
yeah, which at that time of year, those things are flying off the shelf. I'm surprised they even purchased one. But a lot of forced perspective shots, which I always like. You ever see those Instagrams where like pick up a chair that's really far away, but it's actually right next to the camera?
Yeah, I love those.
Yeah, I think those are so
Yeah.
funny. But yeah, I don't know. I thought that would have been cool. There were a lot of really, really cool set design pieces in this movie just because of how surreal the movie was, that it must have been like a really fun project to work on, and I would have loved to seen some behind the scenes stuff in it.
Yeah.
I thought the writing was great. The plot device of like the mind eraser machine. I think that's pretty cool. I feel like that's been a subject of science fiction beforehand, but I don't know if that was ever used to tell a love story before this. So that was like a really cool use of something that's already been kind of in the movie zeitgeist. And overall, I just thought it was a fun movie. Like I said, I didn't enjoy it as much this time, but I still enjoyed it. I still had a pleasurable viewing experience.
Yeah, it's a pretty universal theme too. When you get out of a relationship and it's hard, you want to just forget the person.
I feel like everyone's had that feeling at
Yeah.
one point.
Yep. And I think like one of the things that I loved about the way that it's organized is the way that it goes from the early memories of their relationship are the bad ones. It's all the shitty memories at the beginning. And then when it makes the shift into the good memories, that's when it really hits you. And this is, to me, like one of the most emotional movies, I think. Probably because of the times in my life that I watched it, maybe. But, you know, when it switches to the good memories, it's just like, damn. Like,
Yeah.
it really, using this kind of science fiction element, it really takes a unique and real look at, like, you know, a relationship that fails, and, you know, just a person's capacity for a relationship and
Yeah.
things like that.
It's just a universal story told in like a completely new way. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I also think it really is funny that you truly don't know what you've got till it's gone.
Okay.
Then you paint paradise and you put up a parking lot. Counting Crows, guys, look it up.
Joni Mitchell, guys.
Is that Joni Mitchell?
It was first.
No.
I like Elijah Wood being such a weirdo.
Dude,
I
how
love his
fucked up is
character.
that?
Love his character.
It was almost Seth Rogen.
What?
Yeah, Seth Rogen.
Oh, his character.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
thought you
that would
meant.
have worked.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a squirreliness to Elijah Wood that
true.
really helps.
You could see
kind of
him
lose
doing
that with
that.
Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you could
Yeah.
see him doing that as a person.
Seth Rogen would be more of a possessive, or I don't know, less Weasley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did do the Weasley thing very well. Yeah. And, you know, I bring it up every week in some capacity, but it's funny thinking about this being a year after the Lord of the Rings, Elijah Wood's next role.
It's pretty sick.
Which Lord of the Rings? The first one?
The last one.
Oh, the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a complete departure, obviously.
Yeah.
Did he do Sin City at this point?
I think Sin City was a couple years after
Yeah.
this.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Can you look him up real quick?
Oh, you don't know who we're talking about? He's Frodo.
For Sin City, I think like 05, 06 maybe.
You'd be like, you would never guess because he looks so different in every other movie besides The Hobbit. Mostly because he's not 3 foot tall.
Yeah.
How tall is he actually?
Just regular height.
5'6".
Well, actually not regular height. Oh my God.
Yeah, he's a short man.
That's why they casted him.
How tall are you, John?
7. Maybe
Nice.
8.
Hard?
It's the same both ways. Yeah, that's Elijah Wood right there, and I think Mark Ruffalo, Kirsten Dunst, they were good too.
Oh, I
and
love
so was
their-
what's his name, Tom.
Kirsten Dunst was
Tom
so
whatever.
good.
The Doctor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought their whole, like, you call it a love triangle was so cool. Also, what a curveball, like, towards the last moments
know.
of the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And
And it
he
fits
seems
with
like
the other
such a-
storyline too.
Yeah.
Like it's great writing.
And he
Right,
seems
right.
like such a good guy
Right. Very
throughout the whole movie,
altruistic.
and then you get that, and it's, and like, yeah, they just really nailed it with all of the different plots going on. And Mark Ruffalo, it's kind of just like, damn, you're kind of rooting for this dude. Like, yeah,
Yeah, it was very funny too because I must have missed in the opening credits Mark Ruffalo's name because I saw David Cross's name, right? And Mark Ruffalo appears before David Cross in the movie, and I saw Mark Ruffalo, and I thought it was David Cross, and I was like, wow, I've never seen David Cross with hair.
You have face blindness with David Cross. That's what it is.
I don't even know if I know who David Cross is at this point.
You put other people's faces on David Cross.
David Cross, if we know you're watching, I already know I said you weren't funny and kind of annoying, but we'd love to have you on.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
supporting cast aside, Kate Winslet, Jim Carrey, awesome.
Jim Carrey,
And
huge
both-
snub with any awards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He's just a weird dude. You know, I watched the documentary for the making of Man on the Moon. Have you seen that?
yeah.
Jim and Andy?
We
Yeah, I
watched
saw
it.
that.
Yeah.
Dude, it made me hate Jim Carrey for such a long time. Just because of, like, how insane he was on the set of that. And, you know, you can defend it as that's his, like, acting style or whatever. But at the end of the day, he's just kind of being a dick the whole time.
Yeah.
I fell back in love with him in this movie. Because I don't think I'd watched a lot of Jim Carrey since I watched that documentary. And you forget, like, he's Ace Ventura, right? Like, funny actor, talks with his butt.
Excuse me. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
The guy can fucking act. Like, he is a good actor, you know?
You see that a lot with comedic actors who get a chance in more dramatic roles.
Sure.
and wind up just performing their asses off.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, man.
He made a complete flip. He was the rom-com guy. Then he had Tropic Thunder where he was, like, the lovable idiot agent. And then, what was that after that? Dallas Buyers Club?
Yeah.
And he just fucking killed it.
yeah,
True
that movie
Detective.
was really funny.
I don't
True
even
Detective, I think.
I
That
don't
was a
even
good one.
picture like Matthew McConaughey as like a comedy actor.
Me
No,
neither anymore.
he's made the complete
Yeah.
flip,
Yeah,
which I would
Adam
love.
Sandler kills it too in some more
Dude,
serious
yeah.
films.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uncut Gems, and then the basketball one that we talked
Yeah,
about. That one was
yeah.
great too.
and that one's interesting because his movies are uniquely awful. And yes, he actually can.
I will
act
be
well.
an Adam Sandler
Yeah, me
mega
too.
fan till the day I die. Yeah, and
too.
I'm like
such
50-50 on
garbage.
Jim Carrey now. Like I
Yeah.
just think he's so weird.
He is weird, man. Plus, he's a douche of a person.
Yeah.
He had 2 families.
Jim Carrey did.
Yeah.
Hollywood.
No, he left his family in Canada, and then he just started a new family. I
Well, you
think.
can have one if they're in a different.
Am I
country,
talking
right?
out of turn? Someone check that, please.
Yeah, I didn't think that.
I'm
No,
almost.
it's different countries. You
It's a
can
new
have-
low for Jim.
Oh, yeah. It's like that Chinese proverb. I've got hoes in different area codes.
Yes,
All right.
but country codes.
I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I have 2 families.
I can barely handle one.
Yeah. You're telling me.
Are you not looking it up?
I just put it on here.
Oh, okay.
I don't see anything about that. I know there's.
Sorry,
some,
Jim.
I think there is a lot of. It's tough because it's their relationship, but there's a lot. He went through a lot with his late wife or girlfriend or something.
Yeah.
She wound up committing suicide, but I think they were very, from as surface as it gets, I think they were just very depressed together. Yeah.
Can't say that shit.
Oh my god.
Chris.
I'm sorry. I'm in a weird mood today,
Chris,
guys. I
Chris.
apologize. I was in the car right here, and I was like, "What Chris is going to show up today?" Talking more about the movies, I thought that it was a very unique, uniquely shot movie. Obviously, we talked a little bit about the set design. The plot was obviously very disjointed, purposefully. But
Yeah, you said it's easy to follow still. I still have a hard time with the timing of everything.
the
when I watch
timing's
it.
weird because it jumps back and forth quite a
Yeah.
bit. Towards the end of the movie, it stops, but then you're like fully involved with like jumping back and forth between memories. You're going forward still, but it's still like randomly picking memories in his brain to delete. That's
Yeah.
how I viewed it. With the very beginning, and I only noticed this on this time around, it's very easy to follow if you just look at Jim Carrey's face because he has the dot on his face from when they lined up the helmet on him. So when like that's basically the dead giveaway. If he doesn't have the dot on his face, it's before the procedure, and if he does have the dot on his face, it's after the procedure.
Okay.
That's a really interesting detail.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I only saw it this time because I was watching it and I was like, Jim Carrey doesn't have a mole on the side of his head. I feel like I would have noticed that.
Yeah.
And then I saw them draw it on. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes it because I was trying to follow her hair color, and
hair
I
color's
get
weird,
lost.
because
I get lost with that.
before I rewatched the movie, I
Yeah.
remembered that there was a hair change.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like, this is when they're in the dream, this is when they're out of the dream. But it's not that. I don't know what it is. I wasn't paying attention that closely.
It does. I think it does cue different points in time, but I get lost still with it.
Ooh, I think
I
I, got
couldn't
it.
do it, yeah.
It might be the difference between the good memories and the bad memories.
No, it's timing.
It is
definitely
timing?
is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I tried to give them another layer.
Which could be good memories and bad memories.
Yeah.
These are good at different times, but yeah.
Yeah, because their relationship was good at the beginning, and then it fell apart later.
You guys, what's your feeling on the ending as either optimistic or, not optimistic, I guess. I think that when I was younger and I watched it, I thought of it as optimistic. I don't think I think of it as optimistic now. So
Really?
that's pretty sad, I guess, about me.
I see it as more optimistic now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think I see it as less.
Why do you guys think that?
Not so much for the characters, but more for like the commentary. Maybe I'm missing something, but like a commentary on relationships, how you want to delete these memories, you want to forget them, but they still make you who you are and you still grow from them. If you don't do anything with them, if you want to get rid of them, you're just doomed to repeat the same decisions.
Yeah.
Or you just in pain the rest of your life.
I never really thought about that.
Yeah. If
that
you don't
message.
like learn from shit, yeah.
But then it's still like, okay, so they're just doomed to repeat this. I think
Yeah.
But that's really interesting. I never really thought about it that way, but that's totally true.
Or
That's
you're
a
not
good-
doomed to repeat, you're just scarred.
See, this being scarred is fine. Because then you have a reminder. You learn.
Yeah.
So I'm confused.
But they don't have the scars.
They like meet up again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they both don't remember.
So basically, my question is like, do you think that it'll work, or do you think that it won't work?
So I mean, I guess I could see it both ways too. I think my first instinct is good, right? It's a good thing because you're basically getting a second chance on the relationship with literally forgetting everything bad. You know,
But they get reminded.
they get reminded.
Yeah, they
Why did I
listen to the
watch the end of this
recordings.
And I love that they have that
Yeah.
in the movie. That's such a cool.
The scene when they're in the car and they're listening to her complain about him is brutal.
Oh, right.
And then it gets even worse when they listen to him complain about her because his critiques are so much more cutting.
Yeah.
It's like he like disparages her as a person, and she just says he's boring.
Well, I think that's because he found out that
Yeah.
she had already done it, so I think there was a
It was
little,
a little bit more
venom
visceral.
in it.
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, I guess I just completely forgot the end of the movie.
Jesus, man.
I know, dude. My
We did
brain-
watch it a
Again,
while
not
ago.
qualified.
I really want to watch this one. I
This
have
is
no
really
desire
good.
for the
Oh,
first
By
one.
the way, can I just defend myself for a second? Full disclosure, I thought the matchup was like 3 weeks ago, so I watched these movies 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah. I had to read a little bit about him today too.
I still
trying to
haven't
remember.
watched them. It's been 3 weeks. So you're good, Chris. You're good.
Thank you.
I blame John.
Yeah, I blame me.
I love the long cold open. I think it was great. It really like after watching it, it separates some of the time.
I think most of that was forward, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like a linear storyline at that
No,
point.
linear storyline.
No, a linear where you see the end and then you see the story
Yeah.
that happens.
Oh, okay.
You know what it kind of reminds me of, just with how you guys described it, is I think it's Black Mirror is the show.
That's
Where
show like the
each
weird
one's
technology.
every different. But they had like one episode where it was like you were like looking for your match and like
dude,
at
best
different
episode, dude.
houses.
It's the
That
hang the
episode-
DJ.
That dude,
kinda
that
reminds
episode,
me
first
of
of
this,
all,
though.
Yeah.
is my favorite
Yeah.
Black Mirror episode. It is like that show fucking made me cry so much when I watched that episode, and it's very similar. Like
It is the only one
idea
I've
is
seen.
so similar.
Yeah.
That's a great connection.
Thank you, John.
Speaking of, speaking of the different technologies, I thought this movie did something that was very good. I don't know, I can't put my mind around how they did it, because I've seen so many other movies fail at this. But they took a very obviously a new idea, right? For the technology that they were going to portray. They didn't necessarily explain anything about it, but it still worked without making it like, oh, okay, bullshit. Like this wouldn't be able to happen.
Yeah,
you
you're
know?
right.
Yeah. They just they did a very good job of incorporating it into the overall plot without explaining it too much. So I felt like it was very accessible for everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
One of my favorite quotes is when he goes, "Well, technically speaking, the procedure is brain damage."
yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
But yeah, dude, I think
I think they show dreams so well too. Mm-hmm. How like in the faces, the messed up faces.
oh yeah, dude.
That happens to me in dreams where like I try to remember them and you just like you don't remember any specific details, but you're in front of someone.
Dude, that
You know, and I read that it's kneecaps. So it's like the director's kneecaps that he shot and then put them over people's faces. Yeah.
that's fucking hilarious. It reminded me of
Spy Kids.
no, but that's a good one too.
Yeah.
The thumbs. But the one episode of Louis where he
they
keeps
do
having the
dreams,
nightmare,
too. Yeah.
and he just is in
Jim
the
Norton in like the skin suit.
That's the one part, but the part I'm thinking of is when he's in the doctor's office and he's not wearing pants, and his junk is just basically chewed up bubble gum. That reminded me of that. I never knew that was Jim Norton. It looks exactly like him now that I'm thinking about it. That's funny. Yeah, the dream sequences were very good also because I felt like they were almost hyper realistic at some points, right? With just like the way and I don't know if it's like done in post, but like everything was very sharp. The images were very sharp.
Sharp, but like you couldn't they really showed how like the detail was very confusing.
I think they hit a lot of that with the lighting.
Yeah.
Because
How it was like everything right in front of you was very bright,
Yep.
and then the background was always very dark or very blurry or just out of focus. I
the,
guess
the best part was when I think he was in a warehouse and then he walked directly into his home. It
Yeah.
was one of the earlier ones. But as he was walking forward, they kept turning off all the lights as he moved forward, and by the time he actually stepped in the house, it was just like basically you could have seen that as a closet. It was like all of a sudden that entire giant space is gone, and then you feel like you're right in the house, which kind of mirrors how in dreams you kind of just skip around from one place to the other without noticing it. Like to portray that on film, that's genius in my mind.
Yeah, like in my dreams, I'll be like in the movie, like in a bed, and then all of a sudden you're on the beach, and then you're just standing on the beach. You don't really get up, you don't move anywhere, but everything changes around you.
Yeah, it doesn't make
cool.
It doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense, but it's not jarring. Which is like perfect. What other
Perfect.
I think my favorite quote from the movie is, "I'm just a fucked up girl who's looking for peace of mind. Don't assign me yours." It's really good.
Don't assign me yours. That's pretty.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like, why would she do that to me? And then I think David Cross's character says, she decided to erase you almost as a lark.
Oh,
That guy's funny.
dude. Speaking of David Cross, I thought the banter between him and his wife when they're like introducing him to the idea that she erased him was hilarious.
Yeah, it was good.
Because she was basically just like, "You're a pothead. Like, stop being a pothead." And that was it. Basically, that he was just a bum, and he would just argue. But he's literally just sitting in a recliner, like the most bum thing you could do.
Her name is Jane Addams, that actress. She pops up in different things, and she always kills it for me.
Really?
Yeah.
What else is she in?
She's in the show High Maintenance.
Never. Oh, is that the one where the weed delivery guy?
Yeah.
I never watched it, but I heard it was good.
It's fantastic. Yeah. Oh, she's in that new show, that Idol. Have you guys watched any episodes of that yet?
No, what's it on?
You can miss it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sneaky Pete. I knew a girl named Maggie Murphy. Oh, that's funny. Very Irish name.
Oh, Atlanta. She has the whole episode about her, I think.
Which episode? Maybe that's why
Janice.
she looked familiar to me.
Yeah.
I like Atlanta way more than Dave.
Oh, no, never mind.
I don't know if anyone's watched Dave.
I've not seen
I love Dave. I like them
Dave
both.
depresses me.
The new season's pretty uplifting.
Little. I only could get through a few.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well-
She does mostly TV, it looks like.
Yeah.
Should we talk about matchups?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't have a good one. You guys got anything?
I haven't thought about it.
Yeah, that's why you brought it up.
No, I thought you were going to go first.
For next week?
No, for these two movies.
I can't think of the word.
Oh, I think Meet Me in Montauk is probably the best quote from either movie.
Yeah, that one's
Yeah.
pretty good because
Yeah.
no one wants to go to Montauk.
So it means so much in the movie.
I know. I'm just messing around.
Yeah.
I think I can't. There's a single word, and I hope that when I say this sentence, you guys will tell me what the word is. But like overhyping something because of the idea of it is romantic to you. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Probably a German word for it.
Right. Kismet.
Inappropriate relationships.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's a pretty good one.
Kind of where my mind was headed.
Yeah.
I think that's the only one.
Usually where my mind is headed.
What's your favorite kind of relationship? Hey. All right. You guys want to call the winner?
Yeah, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
That's 3 for you. Jack?
Eternal.
The clean sweep.
Yeah, that's a rare one, I think.
Yeah, you want to be a cleaner, Natalie Portman? Well, fuck you.
The only cleaners are here at the Huge Movie Podcast. All right. Awesome.
So
So-
we got that was an upset.
I mean,
87 topping 42 is Leon.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Chris, okay, I do want to bring up before we end this.
John and Connor proceeded to accuse Chris of being an undercover agent of the IMDb overlords, whilst Jack pretended to tie his shoes for over 5 minutes. The group then decided to put their differences aside and continue with the podcast.
Eternal Sunshine moves on. Next round. I believe it's going up against the Green Mile.
Yeah.
That's a
There you go.
weird one.
8 Mile should have been in its place.
Yeah. But, the random guy who made this list didn't like it. So.
You move to the music as you walk down death, bro. All right.
That's gonna be a weird matchup.
Yeah, I can't even draw any comparison.
I haven't seen the Green Mile in 20 years.
I was just about to say that too. I have no idea how that could even happen, or how that would end up playing out. Awesome. So as the next movies we're battling, you want to decide and then do a closeout?
Oh,
Sure.
Pianist, Reservoir
Damn,
Dogs.
it's almost 9:00.
Make up your mind!
All right.
All right. So Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Moving on. Next round is going to be going up against The Green Mile, which that should be another insane matchup. I don't even know how I'm going to compare those two movies off the top of my head. But for next week, if you guys are following along, we're going to be battling The Pianist. Careful how you say it, from 2002, starring Adrian Brody as a survivor of the Holocaust, and Reservoir Dogs, 1992, Quentin Tarantino vehicle.
His debut.
Yeah, his debut on the list, and there's going to be a lot more of them.
And his movie debut.
And his movie debut as well.
Oh, is that what you meant?
Yeah. But you're right, his debut on the list.
Yeah.
My last comment, I think, is that I think if this invention from Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind were ever created in real life, then I feel like people would be all over it, so that immediately after they watch fucking Citizen Kane, they can just erase the memory of that bullshit garbage.
No, but then you're doomed to watch it again.
What's worse? What's worse?
On that note, thank you guys. Fuck Citizen Kane.
Fuck Citizen Kane.
See you next week.